Good morning, everybody, and thank you for taking the time to come and listen to Jubilee Metals Group. It's a great pleasure to present a company like Jubilee that can show such strong progress year on year when we come and present at this forum. Not only can we show you the progress, but Jubilee is also a company that's taking a leading role in the industry on the metals recovery field in the mining group. Our strategy as a company, for those who aren't aware, we are a company that focuses on the processing and recovering of metals from out of surface material and surface stock, from waste in the mining sector that's been created over hundreds of years, and you have these enormous waste stocks on surface, and we as a processing and engineering specialized group recover these metals from these surface materials. How we do that is quite simple. Jubilee holds exclusive agreements with various technology and equipment suppliers across the world, which our South African-based engineering center utilizes to define the processes which we deploy into various mining areas and mining jurisdictions and solutions. If you look at the size of the prize that we are chasing, just as an example, I've put a slide together for you to look at. This is the revenue per metal group per annum. And if you take, for instance, an example like copper, only roughly about 85% of the copper mined makes it into revenue. So you can imagine if you take 15% of $91 billion, how much copper actually ends per year on surface stockpiles and surface wastes. The platinum industry, which we play quite largely in, if you imagine that in platinum, you're as low as 80% of platinum actually makes it into revenue, you're in the region of about $1.5 billion of platinum finding its way into waste every year on surface. Gives you an idea of the size of this pie that we play in the mining industry. The projects that Jubilee has, we are a company that not only have projects, we're also operational. We've built facilities and are currently operational and profitable in the various areas. One of our first and project we're very proud of is called the Hernick project. It's a project where we recover platinum out of the waste created by chrome mines over many, many, many years. It is the largest of its kind in the world that's operated on platinum recovery out of chrome, where we process to target 55,000 tons of material processed per month. Just a few key project milestones we've achieved, just to demonstrate how quickly these projects are brought into production and into profitable earnings. We concluded construction in January 2017. That's after an 8-month build program. We produced our first chrome in February. In March, our first platinum, and our positive earnings for that project started turning positive earnings in June of that same year. Just to give you an idea of the size or the scale of some of these projects, this is just the top view of the Hernick project, where, to put it in perspective how large things are, you'll see the office blocks shortly coming into focus on the left. It is just an overview shot of the plant. You can see, just if you want to look at scale, there's a person. That is the facility we constructed over 8 months and currently operating. We make roughly about 2,000 ounces per month of material at Hernick, or PGM ounces. As we said, it's a wonderful project. It's delivering positive earnings to the Jubilee Group. Just in the first quarter for 2018, it delivered a net profit, that's all in costs, head office costs, admin costs, of £1.1 million net profit for the company. March, the month of March, set also a new record production for us, achieving roughly 1,900 platinum group metal ounces, which we sell to a refinery. And to give you an idea of how profitable these projects are, our unit costs, which means our all-in cost to produce a single ounce of platinum group metal ounces, is sitting at between $434 to $382 per ounce. We sell that material for roughly $750 per ounce. So you can see you're working on roughly about a 45 to 46% profit margin on these projects. Very robust to be able to withstand whatever cycle we are in the metals industry. Just a quick shot on the Hernick project itself, how rapidly it came into operation, its earnings profile. The red line shows you the earnings we generate in pounds per quarter. commissioning the plant in Q1 2017, so Q2 was its first operational quarter. Q3, 4, and as you can see, the first quarter of 2018, breaking through the £1 million net profit already, and the blue bars showing the platinum ounces being produced per quarter as it ramps up to its full capacity, which we expect to hit in Q2 2018. So we expect another at least 20% growth on earnings to come through in Q2 on top of the Q1 earnings already achieved for the project. Very nice, very profitable, great performing project. It set many new records and many new standards in the industry. It's embraced new technologies which are becoming the norm into the platinum industry. It's got many of the world's largest pieces of equipment in the process that has established a new standard for that industry and how to operate. It's been a project that, of course, has taken the Jubilee brand into the boardroom of very large companies. The Jubilee Metals Group is now, good morning, is now in a position where we are able to communicate and debate and negotiate at the highest level with the biggest mining companies as they look to form strategic partnerships with a company that can take waste and turn it into value in a responsible manner and an environmentally friendly manner. And that really is what has transformed Jubilee over the last 12 months, as the Hernik project has set such a high standard of how one can recover metal from waste that it's invited Jubilee into these boardrooms of these large companies, which of course is part of our strategy. The Hernik project was an opportunity for us to demonstrate to the industry why waste can be valuable. It was an opportunity for us to demonstrate why Jubilee is the right company to process those materials and recover that recover the value out of that waste. And it was an opportunity for Jubilee to elevate itself as a company to be able to negotiate at the highest level with the biggest companies in mining. Our second operation, which is Dillikong Chrome property, it's a property where we recover chrome from the chrome waste from chrome mines, as well as targeting now the platinum out of that waste. It's a 45,000 ton a month facility to recover the chrome. We share the profit of the recovered chrome at a 50% profit share with the owner of the mineral. Our first chrome production commenced in 2016. And in this year, the first quarter, we're busy expanding that operation as we're now gearing up to also commence the construction of the platinum recovery circuit with that Dillikong, which will mean that within 2018, we'll now have 2 platinum operating facilities, as well as a fully operating chrome and fine chrome recovery circuit. The platinum project that we'll be executing at Dillikong as just a typical numbers, it's about an 8-month build program to commence and commission such a facility to add roughly about 1,000 ounces per month onto the production schedule of Jubilee. Our third project, which we announced earlier this week, it's also a platinum project, Platcro. Once again, very significant for the company. It's a very large waste surface stockpiles created over many years, very rich with platinum and growing monthly. Jubilee acquired the sole right to the platinum in those tailings, and we executed a very significant agreement with Northam Platinum. Northam Platinum is the world's 4th largest platinum producer and one of the fastest growing platinum producers in the world. Northam and Jubilee has formed a strategic relationship whereby Jubilee will now utilize Northam's existing platinum recovery infrastructure, which we'll upgrade, refurbish, and utilize their infrastructure to process some of the waste to recover the platinum. Very profitable venture for Jubilee. We have no capital outlay. Northam is sponsoring the capital for the project, and they're doing that to enhance and to pursue our strategic relationship between the two companies. We see a very profitable relationship with Northam, where the two companies will now pursue further similar opportunities within the area to utilize their existing infrastructure for the company. It adds roughly another $2.5 million of revenue per month into Jubilee. for this project alone, and I'm not here to do profit forecasts, but if you take the Hernick margin, you can calculate what profit forecast this will end up adding to the Jubilee earnings as a company. Again, this is a project that's led from Hernick, where Hernick was the demonstration facility for the industry, and as an immediate consequence and a direct consequence, we've been invited into the boardroom of Northam Platinum and have become a strategic partner with Northam to recover waste from platinum producers with such a very prominent partner. Our fourth project is to demonstrate, of course, we're not just South African chrome and platinum bound, we're a processing metals recovery project, and of course is the Kabwe project. It's a zinc, lead and vanadium project in Zambia, very large, 6.5 million tons of material at surface, rich in zinc, lead, and vanadium. If you calculate those numbers, it's more than $1 billion of revenue lying in that material. We formed a joint venture with a company called BMR PLC to operate, fund, build, and operate the facility to recover these metals for them. We also own 29% of BMR, the listed vehicle that owns this project. We will earn in initially to a 40% position of that project with a contract where all our initial funding is first repaid out of the project under a preferential loan repayment agreement for the project. Very large, very profitable project, and it's our first venture into Zambia, because as you can imagine, Zambia is a very large mining jurisdiction, rich in copper and cobalt, which Jubilee has set as its next big target in that area. Of course, with all that surface material happening, all that surface processing happening in the company on an extremely rapid and strong trajectory of growth, our earnings are growing at about 20 to 25% per quarter at the moment, and we see that continuing in the near future as more and more of these projects are coming online in our company. Jubilee as a company is making positive cash flow. So we're not on a fundraising initiative at all as a company. All of this is also anchored by a very large platinum resource, which was the founding cornerstone of the company and remains within our asset portfolio. Very large property, attracting interest from very large mining entities. And this is a project that Jubilee foresees it partnering with a very large company to potentially develop into the future. So in summary, really, what is Jubilee? We are a diversified metal group. We are an operational metals company. We recover a variety of metals at a very high profit margin. We are not a mining company. We are not exposed to mining and mining associated risk. We specialize on the processing at surface. We have a very established and very proud operational footprint in the sector, which is recognized and respected by very large mining companies, and we see utilizing that operational footprint as we now progress and accelerate our entrance into this market. It's a market that's untapped. It's a market that Jubilee is defining at the moment for the industry, and Jubilee has taken a very strong lead in this industry as we pursue the recovery of metals from this mining industry. We have a brand that is now recognized in the industry. We have a brand that is bringing projects to us rather than us alone seeking those projects. And we have an existing project pipeline that we'll be executing over the next coming months and bringing those into earnings as well. Thank you. That's Jubilee. Thank you. If there's any questions? Yes. The problems in Zambia, yeah, just a background on that question. Colin and I, our chairman, had a very embarrassing moment in February where we announced that we are going ahead with the construction of our Zambian refinery to recover the lead, zinc, and vanadium, and less than a day after making the announcement, the government revoked the license of that property. So that's the question, whether our Zambian problems are behind us. We approached the government to understand the reasoning. There was no rationale behind the revoking of the license, and the license has been fully reinstated. So the answer is yes. The problems are behind us in Zambia. I think what happened, the positive that came out of that headache, is the fact that it drew us to the President and to the Minister of Mines table. It gave an opportunity for Jubilee to present to the Zambian government who we are, rather than the company who owns the minerals, and the response from government was particularly encouraging and opening their door to the wider opportunity in Zambia. So it gave a great opportunity for Jubilee to demonstrate firsthand to government who we are, our capabilities, and why we're the right company to do it. So at the moment, the timescale that we've communicated is to commence construction in May. It's got roughly about a 5 to 7 month construction period for the operation, of which Jubilee will fund. So good question, yes. Quite often in consulting terms and when business consultants speak, they always say that the biggest challenge for a company is going from small to medium, which is a big step for a company. You will note as our results are being published that the Jubilee team is growing and very rapidly growing as we now pursue not only to maintain the operations we've got at a very high level, it's our brand, it's vital, but also to bring on the additional projects we've spoken of. Our chairman, Colin, often refers to the number of discussions we have afoot on growing that pipeline, and I can definitely confirm that we are very involved in many discussions at the moment to dramatically balloon our project pipeline and to accelerate the access to more projects, and we can confidently say we have the team to do that. Yeah, just to explain that, quite correct. What we've done, because our balance sheet is strong, we have positive cash flow. Our cash position is growing, not diminishing in the company. We are able, therefore, to leverage our balance sheet into debt, which is a nice position to finally have reached as a company. And to support that, we had a pre-negotiated project funding structure, which is a debt structure, to support the implementation of the projects. Excellent. Cobalt.
Are you able to tell us any more?
I can't tell too much other than, you're quite right, cobalt is very much in our focus. We have developed a particularly powerful and efficient process to recover cobalt out of both oxide and sulfide waste, copper waste, and we have identified the projects to deploy that recovery strategy for the cobalt recovery, and we are in those discussions. I'd be wrong for me to expand more than that at this stage. If that is it, thank you very much.